morning, PYP parents. On behalf of Vishwashanti Gurukul, I, the IB PYP coordinator, extends a warm welcome to each and everyone. Today, we are meeting to understand how the facilitators in our school work the magic of math on our students. Without mathematics, there's nothing you can do. Everything around you is mathematics. Everything around you is numbers, as quoted by Shakuntala Devi. The IB PYP mathematics program takes an interesting approach to learning math. The program's main aim is to encourage children to enjoy learning and nurture a healthy curiosity for mathematical concepts and processes. Like art, music, and other creative topics, the program aims to encourage a genuine enthusiasm for mathematical thinking and study. This is vital for ensuring children can reach their full potential, since it's hard to develop a topic if you don't really enjoy it. Today's purpose of our meeting begs the question, what are we doing in PYP so that students enjoy learning math? But before we dwell into that, let us understand the significance of math in the overall school curriculum. Mathematics provides an effective way of building mental discipline and encouraging logical reasoning and mental rigor. Mathematics is a subject that students should build upon and master throughout their educational experience, as it forms a strong foundation for understanding how the world works and is a critical skill for the 21st century learners. At our school in primary years program, students are exposed to mathematical concepts in their everyday learning through the units of inquiry. This allows them to make important connections between these mathematical concepts that they are being taught and the real world in which they live. Let's understand a little about mathematics as we believe in PYP. Mathematics has a transversal nature. Beginning with the natural world, math has taken a major part of life in the man-made world too. Mathematical literacy is a crucial attribute and includes basic computational skills, quantitative reasoning, spatial ability, etc. Mathematics is applied in various fields and disciplines. That is, mathematical concepts and procedures are used to solve problems in science, engineering, economics, etc. Firstly, mathematics is a part of our human cultural heritage. In India, mathematics has its origins in Vedic literature, which is nearly 4,000 years old. Mathematics provides foundational knowledge and skills for other school subjects as well. In short, mathematics is the science which deals with logic, reasoning, problem solving, which are not only academic, but genuine life skills. The issue of how mathematics is intertwined with other school subjects deserves to be addressed. In PYP, we have the transdisciplinary approach of learning, and math concepts are woven and integrated with the units of inquiry. Also, we take utmost care to ensure that students in early years are adept with the pre-math skills before they step up in grade 1. To help me explain this further, let me introduce to you one of my team members. We have with us Ms. Neha Rawat, who is an early years facilitator for the last 6 years, and I am Mrs. Ashwini Patwardhan. Together, we are going to help you understand how students at Vishwashanti Gurukul get prepared for learning maths. Hello, Ms. Neha. We are keen to listen to your IB methodologies of developing pre-math skills in early years. Without much ado, let's turn to a question that many parents of these young learners may have. Students coming to early years are such babies with no conceptual understanding of numbers. So how does the school prepare the students for mathematics or arithmetic readiness, Ms. Neha?
Thank you for the question, Ms. Ashwini. Good morning, dear parents and students. Number sense or basics of learning about numbers is the vital math skill a child must develop Students must learn to count forwards and backwards early in childhood to learn the relationship between numbers in the future, understanding size, shape, and patterns, ability to count verbally, first forward, then backward, recognizing numerals, identifying more and less of a quantity, understanding one-to-one correspondence, matching sets, or knowing which group has 5 or 4. Group activities are also there. Fun group learning games such as dominoes games, number maze, hopscotch. These encourage other skills as well and promote mathematical development. Child-led, having the environment set up in a maths-friendly manner so the children have lots of opportunities to discover and learn about maths for themselves. So now let's turn to how are maths concepts introduced in early years. Early learners do math even though they are not sitting at desks with workbooks or memorizing mathematical tables. Math helps them make sense of the world around them and teaches them to reason and problem solve. Early years teachers build on child's prior knowledge and capitalize on their spontaneous discoveries to further their understanding of mathematical concepts. To name a few, we make sure that math concepts introduced in early years and the students, they start developing their aptitude and attitude in mathematics. Numbers. In preschool math, children learn about numbers by counting objects, discussing the results. You gave Sam 6 candies. How many candies do you think are left? Children count spaces on board games. They count the days until their birthdays. The teacher might say, yesterday there were 12 days until your birthday. How many days are there now? Preschoolers read counting books. They recite nursery rhymes with numbers, geometry and spatial relations. Children practice constructing shapes and discussing their properties. They see skinny triangles, fat triangles, and upside down triangles. And gradually they realize that they are still triangles. Measurement. Children compare the height of a block tower with the height of a desk or table. They measure each other and the distance from the reading corner to the water table. They learn that this block is too short to make a bridge over the road. Teachers reinforce children's findings by asking questions and making observations. I wonder if this block is long enough to bridge the road. Let's try it. So that's how the questions are put to the children in early years. Then patterns and geometry. Children become aware of patterns in their clothes. They learn to recognize patterns of different colors, sizes in beads and blocks. They practice creating simple patterns by stringing beads and copying designs with colored blocks. They enjoy drawing and creating beautiful necklaces for their mommies using patterns. They create patterns with objects, shapes, numbers, letters, and human patterns too. Then we come to analyzing data. Children sort objects by color, size, and shape. They count them. They record the data on graphs and charts. And these charts might reflect a plant's growth or the number of children with a birthday in March. So here we have an activity which was done in early years. The children enjoyed addition and subtraction takeaway in a fun way by creating a Cool's supermarket in early years block. They were introduced to bills using money, where they learned to read and write the names of the products along with the price. I hope I have been able to give you a gist of how math skills start emerging and later developing in early years. Ms. Ashwini, could you put some light on how the math lessons are structured in PYP in our school?
That's exactly what I was going to talk about, Ms. Neha. Aimed at children aged 3 to 12, the program aims to support children's development in a holistic way to benefit their learning and growth, both at school and beyond. Children are taught to think about the way they interact with objects and ideas and how they can learn through experiences. This is vital for young learners being introduced to mathematics, as they are encouraged to develop their knowledge by reflecting on understanding. It's a very self-driven program that emphasizes children's independence and autonomy in their learning. Once children understand a bit about a particular mathematical concept, they are then encouraged to translate this knowledge into the use of symbols like images, diagrams, and mathematical terms. This is seen as a helpful way of supporting the development of the mathematical thinking. To quickly take you through the steps we take at Gurukul to structure the math curriculum are, firstly, collaborative planning process through the lens of mathematics. Teachers at grade levels are engaged in collaborative planning for mathematics lessons, which allow for student-generated responses to problems. Collaboration with the PYP team decides if math is a subject focus in the unit. We follow the IB recommended collaborative process for learning and teaching. Second, using mathematical lens to build conceptual knowledge and skills. There are three main math skills which students learn and develop with us to solve problems from early years onwards. Number one is conceptual understanding, which reflects a student's ability to think and reason in settings involving the careful application of concept definitions, relations, and representations of either. Number two is procedural knowledge, which encompasses the abilities to read and produce graphs and tables, execute geometric constructions, and perform non-computational skills such as rounding and ordering. We follow a dynamic routine in our school to help students understand the why, who, and how of not only math, but other subjects as well. Lastly, problem solving. These situations require students to connect all of their mathematical knowledge of concepts, procedures, reasoning, and communication skills to solve problems. Then we come to the IB recommended math resources for purposeful mathematical inquiries. So fully supporting the IB PYP approach, these inquiry-based resources provide comprehensive coverage of the PYP mathematics scope and sequence. These resources cover the 5 strands of number sense, pattern and function, measurement, shape and space, and data handling using the PYP methodology of constructing, transferring, and applying meaning. They build mathematical knowledge and skills and explore the PYP transdisciplinary themes via the inquiry-based activities that are rooted in relevant real-life contexts. And lastly, we provide additional opportunities to consolidate mathematical knowledge and skills through the practice, thus helping learners to grow in confidence and independence. Some of them are listed out to you. Teachers using strategies to gather evidence about student knowledge, conceptual understanding, and skills. First is concept mapping. These are especially useful for students who learn better visually, although they can benefit any type of learner. They are powerful study strategy because they help you to see the big picture. By starting with the higher level concepts, concept maps help you chunk information based on meaningful connections. Next, we have making thinking visible. This is about teaching students thinking routines to improve thinking and comprehension abilities. By making thinking visible, students can discuss and reflect on their own thinking as well as the thinking of their peers. Then we have rubrics, which are multidimensional sets of scoring guidelines that can be used to provide consistency in evaluating student work. They spell out scoring criteria so that multiple teachers using the same rubrics for a student would arrive at the same score or grade. And teachers ensure their students are learning about, through, and in mathematics. Engagement is what settles the children since they are inherently curious. They learn through experiences, solving mathematical operations by drawing on previous knowledge. Instead of solving equations on the board and giving students the answer, we have them talk through their process as they solve mathematical operations. A little achievement deserves motivation. Here comes the part when students start to enjoy learning maths. When students are engaged, they become motivated to learn. A curiosity and motivation for math develops through this hands-on discovery method of learning. It's no longer just the learning of math facts. When we engage our students in math talk or ask questions while solving operations on the board, they begin to make connections in their heads. When encouraging and engaging in math talks, we focus on thought process instead of on the right answer and encourage students to share their ideas about how they derive the answer. Now, motivated students start learning with independence. As our students actively engage in math, the progress through the curriculum, they are doing so at their own pace. The autonomy of discovery learning allows our students to progress only when ready. This keeps them further engaged as well as encouraged. They are responsible for their own progress and move forward only when mastering each level. Our facilitators ensure that math concepts are solidified in the understanding of the students, then take the lesson forward. And what remains to be assessed is retention. This high level of engagement leads to a much deeper understanding than passively listening to explanations. Through discovery and experimentation learning, levels of retention are exceedingly high. These emphasize the importance of problem solving over the mere memorization of facts. Well, I guess I have explained to the audience about the magic we work in PYP, but then questions do arise when a child finds it challenging to understand certain math concepts. So, Ms. Neha, what happens if the child struggles to understand a certain concept in math?
That's a good and very important question, Ms. Ashwini. If the student struggles to understand the concepts, we start with simpler problems that they can solve easily. These simple questions are useful in developing their concepts and also grow their confidence. Students attempting the hardest problems first tend to lose interest in learning, and when they cannot solve them, so we start by giving simple problems and gradually move on to difficult sums. Many children end up lacking confidence in themselves and feel like they are not smart enough because of their struggle. As teachers, our first step is to make them feel comfortable about making mistakes and build their confidence. This goes a long way in helping students overcome maths anxieties. Teachers use an approach that is more engaging and easier to understand. Modern approaches like game-based learning to help engage students better in class and also to make it easier for them to understand. Game-based learning also helps students with short attention spans to engage with class lessons. If that answers your question, I would like to continue to put the worry at rest by explaining how the school reinforces the concepts that are taught. This goes without saying that students need to practice math regularly, irrespective of whether they are struggling or not. Solving different mathematical problems regularly helps students understand and grasp the basic concepts of the subject. Therefore, help is given to students to practice math by giving them home assignments on a regular basis. Practicing daily helps their mind accumulate to different problem-solving techniques.
Thank you, Ms. Neha, for explaining so well. Would you like to help our parents to understand how they can support math learning at home?
Parents are important partners in ensuring a child's mathematical success. A warm, inviting, numeracy-rich environment at home is the first step to fostering a love of mathematics in children. Look for opportunities to count, add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Count the number of tiles on the floor of the grocery store or the number of toys, blocks, and utensils at home. Count everything. Count the number of steps to the car, count the number of toys in a box, the number of candies in a jar. Later, introduce estimating the same quantities. Check your child's counting. Reasonable estimates are one of the most useful strategies for successful mathematical thinking. Once children are able to count, look for opportunities to allow them to extend that knowledge. With PYP, children provide more challenging opportunities. When going shopping for clothes and groceries, look for opportunities to problem solve. Grocery shopping and other routine situations provide many opportunities for mathematics. For example, asking your children to draw up a list of groceries needed for a trip can involve calculating days, meals, and total cost. Point out maths in your environment. There are numbers everywhere, on houses, on thermostats, on jerseys, on buses, on speed limit signs, in phone numbers. Discuss what these numbers mean. Bake together. Let your child become familiar with the purpose of measuring. The various measurements, milligram, gram, liter, and an understanding of quantity. Play with perimeter and area. Point out and measure perimeter and area when building or setting up a garden. For example, it's fun and easy to illustrate using real spaces. Perimeter equals the distance around the outside of something, and area equals the number of consistently sized shapes that cover something. Measurements can be made either with standard tools, such as a measuring tape, or using non-standard measures as well, such as counting footsteps around a perimeter. Point out fractions. Cut food into equal pieces. Point out half, 1/3, 1/4. Help establish the concept that 1/4 of a piece of chocolate bar is smaller than half of a piece. Ask questions about counting, comparing, finding totals and differences, looking at patterns or shapes. Play board games and other games that use number cubes like dice, card games, dominoes, puzzles.
Wow, I'm sure our parents will soon start working with the kiddos using the pointers that we have given. To bring everyone into our classrooms, let me explain what methodology does Gurukul follow to develop math concepts. How children learn mathematics can be described using the following stages as given in the IB Math Scope and Sequence. Constructing meaning about mathematics. So students construct meaning based on their previous experiences and understanding, and by reflecting upon their interactions with objects and ideas. This construct will continue to evolve as they experience new situations and ideas, have an opportunity to reflect on their understanding, and make connections about their learning. Next is transferring meanings into symbols. Only when students have constructed their ideas about a mathematical concept should they attempt to transfer this understanding into symbols. Symbolic notation can take the form of pictures, diagrams, modeling with concrete objects, and mathematical notations. And last is applying with understanding, which can be viewed as the learners demonstrating and acting on their understanding. Through authentic activities, range of practical hands-on problem-solving experiences and realistic situations, we provide the opportunity to demonstrate mathematical thinking through presented or recorded formats.
That's how the students in our school learn maths. But then we are a transdisciplinary program. So Miss Ashwini, how is math integrated with the UOI?
So Ms. Neha, the traditional way of teaching math by figuring equations and plugging in numbers focuses only on computation. Teachers have taught math this way for years together, and it has developed such a poor reputation that students may actively dislike the subject or find it intimidating. New ideas and perspectives on teaching math may help overcome this challenge. This is exactly what we do in PYP when the subject focus is math. cognitive psychology, constructivist theory to learning, and best practices of STEM instruction are the foundations of inquiry-based learning. This type of learning provides connections among activities and can result in greater understanding of math for students. Now, the topic of mathematics in IB is split into 5 strands of learning. These are data handling, measurement, shape and space, pattern and function, and number. Each of these strands has its own learning outcomes for each phase of the course, so we can make sure that our students are on track to meet the aims of the topics. To give an example, when the students of PYP4 are learning about matter under the theme of how the world works, they focus on mathematical strand of measurement, which deals with mass, area, density, volume, conversions, etc. When PYP5 inquired about fitness, they worked on data handling, shape and space, in which they learned about graphs, angles, 3D and 2D shapes, area and perimeter, fractions, etc. Where we are in place and time is a good theme to understand timeline, directions, latitude and longitude, develop mapping skills, calendar and time conversions, which fall under shape and space and measurement. In phase 1, pupils are taught to understand that we make sense of the world around us through the collection of information. By sorting basic objects and grouping them by their attributes, as well as being introduced to graphs, children can start developing the mathematical thinking. The level of detail and mathematical understanding the children develop increases with each phase as they get older and become more experienced. Through phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, they'll eventually learn how to organize and display data, as well as understanding trickier concepts like probability and estimation. All the concepts of math are reinforced through regular math assessments under the name Let's Recap, where the facilitators make sure to have differentiated tasks which encompass mental math, puzzles, challenges based on all 5 strands that we just discussed. So to conclude, mathematics is recognized that students can appreciate the intrinsic fascination of mathematics and explore the world through its unique perceptions. In the same way that students describe themselves as authors or artists, our school's program provides students with the opportunity to see themselves as mathematicians, where they enjoy and are very enthusiastic when exploring and learning about math. In the IB Primary Years program, mathematics is viewed as a vehicle to support inquiry, providing a global language through which the children make the sense of the world around them. With this, we come to the end of the session and fall into the question and answer section. Dear parents, we would be more than happy to answer any unanswered questions you may still be having. Thank you, dear parents. For those who would like to go through the webinar once again, we would be soon streaming it on YouTube for your viewing and sharing. I would like to thank Ms. Neha for her contribution for the webinar, and thank you, audience, for a patient hearing. With this, we come to the end of today's session, wishing everyone a very pleasant weekend. Namaste.